So apparently Sony has patented this hybrid DualShock Move controller, and chances are this is going to be available for the PS4. You know, they said that, well, you know, it could be for the PS3, PS4, it's not really clear. It's for the PS4, if it does exist. I mean, come on, give me a break. What are they going to do, release it for the PS3? At this point in the game, but this late in the lifespan of the PS3? You know, the frickin' PS Move has been around for 2 years now. That's right, it's been 2 years. Sold 50 million units. 50 million! Yeah, I can't believe it myself. Now granted, you know, I'm not an expert in the PS Move because, well, I have never used it and have zero intention of using it. Never met anybody that uses the PS Move. And every time I go on Craigslist, everybody's trying to get rid of theirs, the ones that owned one. So I could really give two shits less about this peripheral. But, you know, I'm not gonna go too hard on Sony because they're trying to compete with the Wii and the Kinect, and they have to have some sort of gimmicky peripheral that is like a motion sensor slash, you know, just a gimmicky controller, some sort of like magic wand that you can wave around and, you know, have these gimmicky games. But I understand why they're doing this. But now, and I want you guys to check out these photographs. I'm gonna put the description link below, or link in the description box. I'm sorry, getting my words mixed up. It's gonna be below in the freaking description box. And the pictures basically show a detachable, break apart type of controller. It's like split in half. So it's basically a 6-axis PS3 type of controller with two frickin' balls at the end of each left and right sections. So essentially, if you split it in the middle, you can still hold on to that handle part that the PS3 controller would have, and then at the end of it, you have that ball, that frickin' motion sensor ball thing. Let me read the description. It will also include components like a magnetometer and accelerometer, as well as support for vibration and audio playback through an embedded speaker. Oh, God. My problem with this is that they're trying so hard, so frickin' hard, to compete with the Wii, to compete with this casual bullshit that's been so popular in the past 5 years, and it's like, we don't need this, do we? Do we need this? Do we need this? You know, I could have sworn that the PS3 6-axis was supposed to be some sort of motion, or not a motion, but it was supposed to have a thing where you move the controller and you were supposed to use that as the actual gimmick slash motion device. That was supposed to be the thing that actually was the gimmicky part of it. It was supposed to be the one that competed with the Wii gimmick controls. I remember that, and they never really utilized that to the fullest. Infamous was the only game that I ever remember using that on, and it had some level of involvement, and very minimal, mind you. It did work, it was pretty cool, but it was one move. This looks like shit. And to have two balls on your controller, it's not exciting. Who wants that on your controller? And how much is this gonna cost? Do you have to buy these two separately? Like, you have to, it's, you know, it's kind of like collecting some sort of action figure, you know, like the build and connect piece, where you buy an action figure, you get an extra leg to, and then you buy another figure in the same series, and then you collect like 6 of them to build this single giant action figure. Is that what you're supposed to do here? Because this is sad. I mean, they want a patent now for this thing. Apparently, they originally filed one in May 2011. It's called a Hybrid Separable Motion Controller. And it's patented via the 6th axis, so it should have a 6th axis. The capability should be there as well. I mean, it's just, I still can't get over how, like, pretty much it was a failure to have the 6-axis controller to begin with. I mean, that thing is a fucking ridiculous, overpriced piece of shit controller too. You know, that thing was useless. Okay, it should have been just a normal controller, but it didn't do anything. It's a $60 mess. That's right. The PS3 controller it's not cheap. It's like 60 bucks, $59.99, whatever. Just as much as a brand new game, just because it has the 6-axis nonsense, which didn't do shit. Alright. The filing also suggests a PlayStation Eye camera that'll be required for use with a new controller. Additionally, it appears games will be able to detect if the controllers is split in two or not. It's not clear if I talked about this, and unclear if it's going to be PS4, PS3. Of course, Sony hasn't said anything, they haven't confirmed anything. A speaker, and you know, you have the speaker thing, which is again the Wii U style, where you gotta, you'll be able to talk into it. I mean, it's just an audio playback. Better have vibration. It better vibrate. You know, this better have rumble. I mean, you know, the PS3, they took away the rumble in that stupid thing. I mean, good God. So, taking a look at these photos, man. I mean, this is just. I'm worried how flimsy this thing looks, man. I mean, this is not like a toy or an action figure or something where you collect the two and it's like, this better fit together. This better like snap on, and it better be firm. Okay, this better not be like you're in the middle of gameplay and then it like snaps in half. You know, you're like smashing or mashing on the buttons. You're playing a fighting game like Street Fighter or something, and then it just, because you're smashing it too hard, boom, it comes apart. Snap. Oh my god, and it looks so ugly. It's hideous. The design looks like shit. And what I'm afraid of the most is that this is going to be the default PS4 controller. That this is going to be the only controller on this system. You gotta buy it, you gotta have it. Oh my god, and there's like, you got the balls in the front, and then you got the balls at the bottom of the handles, and then you got that, you know, the rope twisty tie thing at the bottom. Oh god, it looks terrible. You might as well put like frilly things like a pom-pom on this thing. This is ridiculous. Oh god. I don't know. I mean, you know what? It could be a good idea. It could actually work. I mean, splitting it apart and almost kind of having like a, you know, like a double nunchuck kind of action here. You know, you're holding two nunchucks in your hand and you're just kind of almost, you know, separately moving the controllers and kind of freely moving them in a separate kind of way. And that could sort of allow for different stylistic gameplay features. It kind of, you know, whatever type of games are available, whatever, you know, maybe a shooter, a third-person shooter, a, you know, a hack and slash, you know, a sword and shield type of game, you know, something like that. It could be unique, but man, I mean, this is just the ugliest piece of shit controller I've ever seen. I'm sorry, but man, the PS Move is not a success. It's not. Nobody gives a shit about the PS Move. You know, call me ignorant, call me whatever, I don't give a fuck. When I bought my PS3, I couldn't give two shits less about the PS Move. I had no interest in it. I wanted to play these things called games. Yeah, you know, games like Killzone. I wanted to play God of War, you know, games like that. You know, I wanted to play the exclusives, you know, Infamous, you know, that's what I wanted to play. I wasn't really interested in waving around a Wii knockoff that was just a gimmick, that was essentially just a way to cater to the casual market, and really added nothing to the overall quality of a game. Because the 6-axis was a fail, in my opinion. The PS Move was a fail in terms of having any fucking must-have games on it. What are the good games for the PS Move? I want to know. Is there any must-have titles for this fucking thing? What are the best games for? And I'm not talking about like, oh well, Killzone 3, you can use the PS. Killzone 3, you can fuck around with that game without using the PS Move. You don't need a PS Move for that shit. I'm talking about an exclusive PS Move game that utilizes the PS Move exclusively. That's it. You need a PS Move, you need the game in order to play it. And I can't think of one. Not a single one. So why is this one necessary? You gotta pry it apart, and it's like a gimmicky thing. You snap it together, and I mean, you know what? It has potential. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, it's ugly, and I really wish that the Wii. I'm not gonna say I wish it failed, but I wish that it wasn't as successful as it was in terms of that fucking Wii motion shit. Because after that, everybody wanted to cash in on it. Everybody wanted that same motion bullshit. And it's corny. It's corny. That's it for this episode of Review Space. Till next time, ciao.